Wood here, the king of digital real estate. And guys, what I want to talk about today, really briefly, is what the actual profit margins are in this business model, in the rent then rank business model or the local lead generation business model. And so there's a lot of confusion around this. We always toss around numbers. So-and-so's making X amount per month. So-and-so's making X amount per month. I was making 100K per month, blah, 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 blah. How much of that is actually going in your pocket? Because let's be honest, guys, who cares about that top line number? Nobody really cares if you're not putting money in your pocket. I know I don't, although there have been times in my career when I thought that was the coolest thing, is to tell people I was making X amount of money. Now I care about how much goes in my pocket. So I'm going to answer this question really directly, and I'm going to kind of break down a couple different scenarios of how that could change. It's going to vary, okay? Your profit margins are going to vary depending on your deal structure and depending on what stage of the deal that you are in. But I'm going to tell you that on the low end, this is the number that I can give you, is on the low end, if you follow the system that I have outlined, if you follow what we teach in Digital Landlords in our program, and we sprinkle bits and pieces of in, our free Facebook group, on our Discord channel, etc., you at the very minimum are going to make, now this is if you follow exactly how I teach it, exactly the CPC that I tell you to go into, which if you don't know what that means, it's the cost per click. How much does Google charge you every time somebody clicks? You follow the CPC, you follow the city that we recommend to go into, the structure or the framework of what kind of a city is a good city. You at the minimum are going to make a 40% profit margin. So you are going to put 40% at the minimum into your pocket. And at the maximum, I know I have websites right now where I've ranked them completely. We're getting 100% of organic leads, and I'm making 95% profit margins. Unfreaking believable. Guys, when you really wrap your head around and you start getting into business and you have some context as far as like what that means, that is like, there are only a handful of things in the world that even compare to the profit margins that are available in this business model. And one of them, well, most of them are illegal. Okay, I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to go into it. Don't want to get the old video banned. Come on, Mark. However, they are insane. Now, everyone's going to go, where are you coming up with that 40% number, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? I want to explain that really quick, okay? In my world, in my program, the way I teach it, I recommend that you never even touch a deal unless it's $1,000 a month plus. That's the starting point, okay? Now, are there people, they want to get that first deal and they go and they decide to go lower? Yes. Have I been guilty of this? Yes. However, the way that I teach it, the niches I recommend going into, the cities I recommend going into, the CPC I recommend you staying under, $1,000 is where you start. Okay. And based on the cost per click that I recommend, what ends up happening is you will be able to generate, and again, there's always the anomaly, there's always the outlier, but 99% of the time, just on ads alone, even if you never built out the website, even if you did build out the website, but it never ranked and you never got any organic traffic, any leads that came in from your search engine optimization, ranking on Google, for those of you that are new to this, okay? Even if you never did that and you only kept your deal and you were just doing ads, we've baked it, we figured it out where at the very minimum, you are going to make a 40% profit margin, meaning you will never spend, if you follow the way I teach it, you will never spend more than $600 per month, $600 per month on ads, okay? So $600 out of the 1,000 is 40%. Just so everybody's clear, okay? That's where we're coming up with that 40% profit margin. And again, if you guys are like, what's the CPC? What's the cost per click? Like, what are all these unknown variables? That's the stuff that we cover. I'm just trying to give you guys some actual data here. So on the low end, my lowest of low deals is I am making 40% profit margin. Now, what's awesome about this is, let's say you go stack up a couple deals and you get your you get your top line, your gross revenue to 10,000. And let's say that it takes you, I don't know, let's say you do $10,000 deals, right? So you're making $10,000 a month, $1,000. You're going to net on that $4,000 if all of them, if you have to spend that $600 a month. Now, that's not always the case. In fact, that's rarely the case. A lot of times you can spend $200 or $300 or $450. So you actually are making a higher clip. But let's say that all of them, you're spending the max amount of money that I recommend spending, and you have 10 deals, right? And you're making $4,000. Now, here's what's crazy. And this is what's so exciting is you sit down one day, and this is what happened to me is after 2020, I sprinted. We crushed it, right? We sold a bunch of sites that we currently had. We sold a bunch of pre-sold sites. And I realized, I said to my project manager, I said, if we don't sell another deal, if we don't bring on another client, and all we did was focus on ranking half of our sites or a quarter of our sites, we would add X amount more dollars into our bottom line. They would go right into our pockets. We don't have to go pick up the phone. We don't have to do any of that scary stuff that everyone thinks is so scary. We would add that much money going right into our pockets. And how that works, guys, is as your website starts to rank, let's say you have a website, LasVegasConcrete.com, okay? And you're spending $1,000 you're getting $1,000, $600 on ads. You're making $400 a month, right? Let's say you can get 3 of the main keywords ranked, and that brings in an extra 10 leads a month. Well, now you can go to the ads, and let's say you can chip those down $200 a month. Guess what? You just increased your profit on that one project 20%, dude. 20% on that one freaking project. Okay, so on the low end, 40%, on the high end, 95%. Now, there's a couple other variables that you need to be aware of. If you are going to build a big business, you want to build a business that doesn't require you to be there every second of every day. You don't want to be the solopreneur. You are going to have to hire VAs. You might have to hire some local talent. I prefer to have a combination of both. So for those of us that are building organizations or building companies that we can scale up, that we want to get to $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 a month, you're going to need help. And those things do cost money. So for those of us that have teams, that's going to cost us money. For those of us that want to have employees, not employees, I just said employees. Those of us that want office space so that we can put our team in it. Those of us that want to treat our company to a nice dinner or to a Christmas bonus. All of those things are going to factor into your profit. But if we're just talking, how much are you making on $10,000 per month? Me doing everything as a solopreneur. I'm brand new to this. This is my side hustle. Hate that word, by the way, but it is my side hustle. I'm doing all of it. You're going to be making at the minimum 40% or $4,000. But I would say that is going to be at the very worst case scenario. The chances of all 10 of those deals, you having to spend all $600 is very, very, very low. And also by the time you got to that 10th deal or even that 7th deal, you should have your organic rankings kicking in, which means you should be able to start lowering your ad budget and increasing your profit. So guys, the answer to the question is 40% at the minimum, 95 or probably above, depending on your hosting, depending on your tracking numbers, depending on your domain, all that kind of stuff. But 95%, that 40 to 95%, depending on how quickly you can get them ranked. And that is per project, excluding how you choose to run your business. Guys, this is a business model. The only thing that compares to it, the only things that compare to this in terms of profit margin is illegal activities. I'll leave it at that.